So welcome to the GESARA show.
He beat me to the punch again.
That's right. Yes, yeah. That's my every week. I think, how can I get in there a little bit quicker and beat him to the punch?
Right. So we're sparring, are we?
Well, not really.
Come on. Just try and find an open spot. Come on. Just try and find an open spot. You can't hit me. Just try and find an open spot.
Oh, come on. You haven't got a leg to stand on.
Well, that's very true. I do not have a leg to stand on right now.
Right. Okay.
All right. So we got something special that we're going to do here real quick. Chaz Carter with PPN Network is currently got General McInerney and Charlie Ward on his show. And Peter, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we're going to let you listen in to what they're having to say about everything.
That's right. This was totally unplanned. I mean, I literally didn't know until Billy told me just now that this was happening. So I thought, well, if it's that important, let's share it with our team. So let's just watch at least a few minutes of this, and if it's interesting, we'll let it play out, and then we'll carry on with our show. So is that okay with you guys? Yep. I'm saying okay. We're getting lots of yeses, so let's move straight on to that.
So we have a cancer inside our society on both Republicans and Democrats. Rise up, Americans. Paul Revere, Charlie. You and
exactly.
Paul Revere.
Well, this is, during the election time, and right through this whole thing, I started off my journey telling people that the virus, the vaccine, was all part of a global financial reset. I had no idea there was two resets in play. There was the Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, and the global financial reset, which was the quantum financial system. With regard to the quantum financial system, it's also linked with the quantum voting system, the quantum educational system. Everything was being monitored from off-planet. And so when you're talking about off-planet, you're talking about 100% accurate. There's an awful lot of things that people knew from the quantum team that knew was going on. It was very interesting to me also that Donald Trump made a specific point about foreign interference in an election would deem it null and void. He made that very clear. People overlook the fact, they always China. They overlook the fact that Canada, the home of Dominion, is not part of America. It's foreign. So even if it was Dominion in Canada, it would be legally classified as foreign interference. And we'll see all of
Peter,
that.
Peter, can you mute William Wallace, please?
But the way that it's been done, it's not the way that I would choose, but I'm not a military mind. You are. This has been done, I've been told on very good authority, this is an unconventional war. That had they have gone about it in the normal fashion, this could have taken between 5 and 10 years to do. But because it's been done this way, of literally setting traps for them, their ego has got in the way. Because they've never, ever come up against this, where they've always thought they were in control. Because they've had the judges, they've had the FBI, they've had the CIA, they've had the IRS, they've had everybody in their pocket, the Federal Reserve, everybody's been in their pocket. But this time, they've been caught with their fingers in the till. They've been caught red-handed, and Operation Warp Speed has sped it up so that we're in 2022. This was supposed to have been done by 2030. But now the public can see what they were trying to do. And what came out the other day about monkeypox, when I heard how you can transmit monkeypox, I laughed my head off, because I can't believe anybody would even believe it. They're saying that the only way that you can transmit monkeypox is with coins and banknotes. This is their way that they were trying to usher in their digital system. So they're saying that monkeypox is transmitted by banknotes and coins. And I went, this is the level they've dropped to. This is what Operation Warp Speed has made them do. It's made them look incredibly stupid. And because people are beginning to wake up, they're starting to see this. Because for the first couple of years, I was called a conspiracy theorist. called this, that, and the other. And people are going, hang on a second now. They're starting to see it. So all that hard work was worth it. And all the hard work that you and Mary, and I take my hat off to both of you. And I thank you from all of Jazz's and my audience for the work that you and Mary have done with Hammer and Scorecard and everything else that you've done. There's so much work that you've done that has made this possible to get to where we are now. And not one person can expose the cabal. It's down to every single one doing their bit. Your work has been so valuable to people like Chaz and I as the foundation so that we can expose them for who they are.
Absolutely. As I say, you and Chaz are Paul Revere. And Mary and I are greatly appreciative of what you're doing. God bless you both, and God bless America.
Yeah, I'll let you have a last say, Chaz. You've been quieter than I've ever known you, buddy.
Well, I've got Dallas in here with me as well. You can't see him. Number one, it's absolutely a pleasure, General and Mary and Charlie, to finally see Charlie again, be on here with you. I will tell you, that guy right there too, Warren, what up? So we're excited about getting the truth out. We are bound and determined with the numbers, all of us being united. We care about getting the truth out. You know, all of us, even that are watching, don't know how deep truly this goes. Okay. This is not something that just happened overnight. This has been decades in motion. And I can't thank you enough to getting you and Mary, and of course, Charlie, getting the truth out. All we want to do is intensify. Let's move forward. Let's get the truth out. Let's expose this evil cabal once and for all and be freaking done with it. And let's start off on a clean slate and get rid of cleanup on aisle 17.
You know, I think I want to close with this, Charlie, Chaz. If Biden won 81 million votes, he would be demanding audits in all 50 states for bragging rights, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
We all would.
Right.
I mean, we convince everybody, but he's doing the exact opposite. They are spending millions of dollars and thousands of lawyers to stop it because they know it is a blatant, corrupt steal. And
There's also
sniff test.
There's also something that I found out whilst I was away in Barbados. I was there with my daughter-in-law, who is originally from Caracas in Venezuela. She now lives in Miami. Her parents come over to Miami from Venezuela and stay with her. Interestingly enough, they got voting slips in their names and they're not eligible to vote in America.
I rest your case.
Exactly.
Right.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Chaz. Mary.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, General. And everyone should look into the face of their children and say, this is your time. This is your place to stand for freedom.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly right.
Well, that was interesting. We got a lot of stuff to get to here today. We're waiting for people to join in because they just got done with watching the PPN live. They're probably just joining in now. So we're going to delay our news portion of it here for just a little bit. But I had a request to do a little singing here today, and I thought I'd do a rewrite of an old Johnny Cash classic. Okay. So you ready? Is everybody ready?
Do you have enough cash for this?
I do have enough cash for this. Okay.
Is it the old currency or the new currency?
It's the old currency for right now.
Fiat.
So this is fiat cash.
Okay? Oh, fiat cash. Okay, right. Okay. Well,
all right. So here
we'll have
we
to
go.
decide if we revalue during the song.
All right. So here we go. You hear footsteps a coming. They're coming down the hall. You're about to meet your maker. We're gonna send you to hell. You're stuck in Gitmo prison. because of what you've done. You hear footsteps a coming. Get ready for the news or gun.
Wow.
So, there you go.
I like that.
Right. Okay. Yes. So are we becoming a music show now?
No, we're becoming a music show. It wasn't exactly perfect, but it was impromptu, funny stuff, glad you liked it. Thank you.
Okay, great.
All right. But man, since we saw you last, we've had the Lionsgate portal open on Monday, which allowed the FBI to come in to Mar-a-Lago and collect a whole bunch of stuff. Did everybody see the picture of the FBI agents wearing Melania's clothing, that was floating around?
No.
Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see that one. No. So
yeah, somebody posted a picture, where the guys were standing there in their khakis and whatnot, and they superimposed Melania's wardrobe on these guys in the picture. It was hilariously funny,
right?
Because they went through Melania's wardrobe there at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, and they.
It's disgusting, isn't it? Really,
it really is disgusting. But it's like the FBI is not being transparent on anything. The judge who signed the order off, Reinhardt or something like that. Anyway, he was one of the ones that was involved in getting Jeffrey Epstein off the hook back, in the early 2000s in the first go round when everything. So he used to work for Epstein. All right. And so this just gets even crazier and crazier. And then we find out that the guy who was in charge of the FBI office in Michigan, all right, that where Whitmer was supposedly being kidnapped and these guys got in trouble and whatnot. Well, that same FBI director is now was promoted to the Washington, D.C. office. And so it's you can't make this stuff up, man. This is one of the great mystery things. It's a very interesting drama that is being played out, and but it's very comical at the same time. And then you have everybody being tight-lipped about it. Joe Biden says he doesn't know anything about it. The White House press secretary says the White House didn't know about this. And just as things are starting to heat up, they all take off on vacation, all right, with Hunter Biden in tow on supposedly Air Force One. The plane that they got on was not Air Force One, by the way.
Right. Yes. It's just a plane which looks like it. Yeah.
And Cuomo coming out and doing things. And saying and blasting the FBI about something like this. What is this now? Cuomo coming out and calling out the FBI, right? This just keeps getting better and better. And now the Attorney General of New York is still going after Trump. Her one promise in her statewide campaign to gain the office was, I'm going to take down Trump. I'm going to take down Trump. I'm going to take down Trump. And so Trump goes in there and they advise him just plead the fifth to anything because this is a trap. This is an absolute trap. So
so that's why I plead the fifth, because in the past Trump has always said that you're a loser if you plead the fifth.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so there's there are loads of recordings of him saying that the fifth is the worst thing you should do, and now he's doing it.
Right. So the FBI made all the lawyers stand outside. They couldn't have anybody follow them around inside of Mar-a-Lago. They requested that the video surveillance system inside of Mar-a-Lago be shut off. They didn't shut it off. They have all the surveillance video. Of what the FBI did.
Quite honestly, if they're going to have the Marines there, why couldn't the Marines just say, sorry, you may request that we're not there, but we're going to be watching you? And
right.
Yeah, I mean, why should they do what the FBI, which is a private company after all, have control over the U.S. Marines? I mean, I find that ridiculous.
Or the Secret Service for that.
Or the Secret Service. I mean, the Marines can say, no, if we are going to watch you, yeah. That's right. What I expected.
You're right. Trump is playing with them, Richard. Okay, and it's a cat and mouse game. All right, and the cat is about ready to pounce all over the mouse. All right. And he's just playing with it right now. He's just, all he's doing is slapping it around, on the floor, and the mouse has nowhere to go. It's cornered.
The mouse being the deep state.
Mm-hmm. But now you have all of these different things, on the same day that, that Mar-a-Lago gets raided. It was supposed to be the day that Hunter Biden's laptop gets released to Congress from the FBI.
Right.
Okay. Now we have all these other distractions coming into play. What comes into play today to kind of take our focus off the thing? Scott Peterson is back in the news with potentially a new trial out in California. Okay. The whole Lacey Peterson murder and whatnot. Remember all that? No,
I don't remember it. Tell me about that. What was that
Scott
about?
Scott Peterson originally in the Chicago area murdered his first wife, or supposedly murdered his first wife. All right. They found that out later after they went into his second wife that was murdered and dumped out in the bay in San Francisco. All right. And then, now they're saying that one of the jurors was compromised because she lied on the affidavit saying that she never had any type of domestic violence case or anything like that. All right. When evidence showed that she actually had a restraining order against her prior husband, for domestic violence. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, that throws the entire case into question because that's a tainted jury pool. So because of that, and the defense found out about this, he had a biased jury. It was not 12 unbiased people. There was one biased person on the jury, which throws the whole thing into question whether it was a legitimate trial or not. Now, the fact of the matter is he was sentenced to the death penalty out there, but the California judges said, no, we're not going to do the death penalty. Okay, so he was let off the hook as far as getting the death penalty was concerned, and was supposed to spend life in prison. Okay, but now it's calling the whole trial into question, and whether they have to retry the whole thing because of one tainted juror. And believe it or not, this juror actually set up a pen pal relationship with Scott Peterson after the trial,
right,
in prison. So, and this is how he found out about it.
Do you actually have any sort of legitimate jurors in the USA, or?
With all the social media out there, with all the news outlets 24/7 and whatnot, in this day and age, it would be very, very hard to find somebody who is not informed about something like that. It would be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyway, I digress. They're trying to change the narrative, and they're trying to throw other stories at you to be diverted from this. That don't watch over here. We want to see you this thing right here. Okay.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that.
Right. And Martin, you're absolutely right. Trump and his team knew that they were coming 5 days earlier. They did. Scavino put out, tweets and stuff like that saying, with the door showing 45 on it, that they were about ready to bust in the door without actually telling us. It was a calm. All right. And so it's a great shit show. It really is.
Wow. So it looks like things are hotting up, and that more and more is beginning to happen. And they're talking on the RV about the 15th being an important date, and we got all kinds of things happening, all kinds of diversions. It looks like August is going to be an interesting month.
Right. Well, I mean, from what Mark Z has to say, that the major contracts that have been signed with a lot of the bondholders expires on the 15th.
Right.
All right, and they'd have to redo all of those contracts if it doesn't fly by the 15th. So,
which is not long. It's the 11th
which is
today.
Monday. Which is Monday.
Well, so things are hotting up. I mean.
We don't like to throw out dates there, but that is something that Mark Z said. If in fact they don't go by the 15th, those contracts expire, and they would have to re-sign the contracts.
Yeah.
So it's on.
And that would but also I'm hearing from Iraq that they are basically all set now. And
yes, they are.
And they're also expecting the 15th to be the day. from the Iraq changes. So a lot is pointing to the 15th. But I mean, we've had dates come and go before, so don't get your hopes up too much. But certainly, I wouldn't expect it to happen before then. So the 15th could be a very interesting day for the world.
All right. Did anybody else get a test of the EBS today on their phones? Did anybody? I did. Okay.
You did?
Yes, I did. Okay. Nope.
I'll have to look on my phone if there's anything
yesterday morning I was awakened by an Amber Alert at 3:00 in the morning for a kidnapped child up in Florissant, Missouri. But today I did get an Amber Alert, with a test of the EBS.
Okay.
Saying it was just a test, not in California. Okay. No test, but second software update in 10 days. Yeah, I've had an awful lot of software updates here recently on my phone and tablet and my computer. So
no, even I got one the last few days. My smartphone is probably about 2 to 3 years old. Probably more 3 years than 2 years, and I haven't had an update for quite some time. And then yesterday a pretty major update came, and I thought, well, this is interesting. Wonder what's happening. Okay, they did change the like the skin, the operating system. Not the operating, the skin of the operating system. So it did look a bit different. But I thought it was interesting that it happened just now.
Right. But I was trying to print something out yesterday, and it wouldn't print for me properly. Peter could print it. Okay, I sent it to him, and he printed it, and I sent it to Barbara, my friend here in St. Louis, and she printed it. Actually, brought it down to me last night. But it was like, what? Why won't it print properly? It was only printing the logo. It wasn't printing all the printed words on the page. This is strange. I mean, absolutely strange.
Well, yeah, there's obviously something wrong with the printer drive, in the printer settings somewhere, which is doing that.
I checked all of those. I'm not a dummy when it comes to tech and in IT. I mean, I've done it most of my life, but this just baffled me. I reset all the settings. I did everything that was supposed to be. Even did its firmware update on the printer. So, but anyway, I digress. You ready for the news?
I don't know. Are we ready for the news?
Do you have your hat?
And well, no. What I'm going to do, because I don't think that current hat is too good. I'm going to see if I can find a nice hat in Belgium, because this is the last show in Cologne for a couple for.
Did you have a nice time with your wife for her birthday yesterday?
Yes, my mother-in-law came to visit.
What did you do?
My mother-in-law came to visit, and then we went to another castle. Had a look around a castle, Castle Benrath, I think it's called, which is near Dusseldorf, which is a bit north of Cologne. So we seem to be doing a castles thing at the moment. We seem to be. I think there's about the 4th castle we visited this year.
So you're doing the castle move, is that right?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm saying, is this chess? Is this a castle?
Right.
But no. But I mean, that particular place, the castle itself was you couldn't get into. It was just the gardens, but it did have some very pretty gardens. I took some nice pictures there.
All right. Did you put the moves on your wife at the castle?
My moves?
Did you put some moves on your wife at the castle?
Well, she moved the queen.
She moved to queen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
She moved
All
the queen. So.
Okay.
But anyway, it was quite pretty there. There was very nice gardens I had around that castle there.
Cool.
But after that we had we went to have some dinner and came home, and then we spent a lot of the time using Zoom for the family connections, sort of.
Okay, all right.
So
Cool.
So it was on Zoom, but not talking to you guys. It was more family people who have So I didn't have to do any news on the.
Cool. All right.
But that was good. That was something different.
All right. Cool. Well, very nice.
And
congratulations on the anniversary. How many years does this make now?
Well, I got married in 2011.
Okay. All right. But it's her birthday. So
And it's her birthday, yes.
All right. So she's 25 again. Is that right?
And a little bit more than that, actually.
A little bit more than that. But
she's younger than I am. She's about 11 years younger than I am. So
okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Well, what do you got for us today, Peter?
Right. Okay. So, one thing, we're making a change on the show. Did you see the last bonus video on the last show, the Orville one?
Yes, I did. The little clips and whatnot. That was cool.
That was great. And you know, it was very close to GESARA what they were describing in the show. I thought, and I gave comments on that. Now, what we're doing with bonus videos, we're making some changes up until the end of July. We've been releasing the bonus videos to everybody a week later publicly. Because we want to do maybe more sensitive stuff or whatever, and also encourage people to actually subscribe to the show, because we seem to have a lot of people just waiting the week to watch the videos publicly rather than helping to fund the show. I thought we can make a change, and from now on, well, in fact, from the beginning of this month. All bonus videos and all backing up documentation will be available to subscribers only, not to
the general public.
Not to the general public. So the people who are just sort of casually watching a week after the show when we release it on BitChute, Rumble, and Telegram will not get the bonus video and will not get the supporting documents, because we want to encourage them to actually support the show and support us, and we also have to grow the show, because right at the moment our numbers have gone down, and we obviously have to cover our costs, so we need to expand the show and encourage people to actually subscribe. So that's basically the idea behind that.
So tell your friends and neighbors and everybody to join us here on the GESARA show. You know, it's a mere $5 a month.
That's right. You know, we're not asking a lot. It's not, you know, if we were asking, I don't know, $11 a month or something, you know, I would say, well, okay, that's a lot of money. But $5 a month, I mean, it's a cup of coffee. Let's put it that way.
Right. Exactly. That's, you know.
And you get 8 shows for a cup of coffee. I mean, you can't say fairer than that.
I mean, you can't get a cup of coffee and a donut for $5 nowadays. You know?
That's right. Yeah. So you know, it's not like it's an extortionate price. We're asking a very fair price, and the money is used to cover the costs of running the show, and
we don't make a dime off of it. We really do not.
Yeah, it goes into equipment and to costs and things like that, but. We are expecting to expand the show. I'm in the process of inviting the Rye Forum, which has 14,000 members, which is a forum I've been running since 1992. And I'm in the process of inviting them to join our show here. So there might be a sudden influx of new people, new faces on the show. I'm not quite sure when I send out that newsletter. I'm not sure whether to do it while I'm off to Belgium, because the next show, which is on Monday, and then on the Wednesday we have our special. Those are both coming from my end from Vendôme in Belgium, which is on the Belgian coast, and so I may invite them after that. I don't know. Well, I'm still working on the logistics of that.
Right.
Otherwise. You know, I'm pretty busy getting ready for the trip.
Okay, great. You know, I hope you have a wonderful time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be spending part of the time doing the show, aren't I? I mean,
right, yeah.
2 shows there, and then editing it and releasing it from there. So it does kind of take a little while. But, you know, I'm going to do a quick edit from there. I've tested it. I've actually edited one of these shows on the notebook, and it all worked fine. So I have no don't see any problems there. The notebook has about the same technical power as the PC I'm sitting in front of, so
Yes.
so we should be fine.
Thank you, Craig.
What to say?
Oh, Craig.
Yes,
was referencing yesterday's show.
Yesterday's shows. He talked about
Yesterday's Insiders Club.
total bargain. At least you guys turn up to host your own shows. Cough. So what is that referencing to?
Okay, Mahoney did solo yesterday.
Yeah, I did see that.
Charlie never showed.
Because Charlie was in an airplane. That's what I understood.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the name Ivermectin show really sort of fits.
Let's digress. Okay, let's not. There is a lot of discussion on, when Mahoney's just there and when Mahoney does the thing, there's an awful lot of talk about meds and stuff like that. So, but anyway,
yeah, which is kind of the thing. I'd be much more qualified than he was, I think, because I've been running a medical forum for about 20 years, where we're talking about medical issues all the time. Okay, I'm not a medically trained doctor, but I talk to medically trained doctors all the time.
We don't give medical advice or
That's right, we don't.
or financial advice. We're not trained experts in any of that stuff.
But he seems to be doing so.
Yeah, exactly. So
he seems to be doing so.
More people inquiring about orders than it is anything else.
That's right. Yeah. So whereas I can promise you guys, we're not going to be selling any of these meds because I think
But if you have information to share, okay, of where to people to buy, and some people have put in where you can buy ivermectin and HCQ in the chat and whatnot for whatever it is, because we found out that you can get it a lot cheaper, by the stuff
that's
that
right.
People have posted here. So
to be honest, when I looked up his prices, I thought, wow, he must he has probably a lot of costs in getting the stuff to wherever it's being sent. But
right. Well, Peter and I do an awful lot of research, into what we put into the show. But it's, our entire community here, we all love you because you add so much to it, because you're putting in things that maybe Peter and I don't have the time to do a lot of research on. And if you find something that is relevant and you can add it to the group, it helps out everybody. Okay. And that's what I love about our little community here. You can give yourselves a round of applause. You do add a lot to everything. Okay.
Well, right from the start, I've always been in favor of a kind of peer reviewing community. In other words, we may have put out ideas and things like that, but there are always experts on various topics, which can then teach us some things. And I'm all for people exchanging views, and that we as a community gain knowledge that way as well. And if someone says something is wrong, there's always going to be someone else say, oh no, this is actually what's right. And also, it was really interesting looking at the last show where Grant took over the first half hour. Did you see that, Billy?
Yeah.
I mean, you did on the day. You came in late, but because Charlie was overrunning, I just came in quickly and said, look, we're coming in after he's finished. And then they had this big discussion because I left the show running, and it was actually quite interesting.
Grant did a great job.
Grant did a great job, yes. So go that, and it's all because Delise asked a question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So appreciate the question, Delise, to start the conversation rolling.
That's right. Yes.
All right, let's get into it, shall we?
So let's get into the news. I think we said what needs to be said, and here we go. Things are hotting up, put it this way.